I normally say welcome back, but since this is the first time you are seeing it, welcome to the chaos. All right, this is the new space. It's a 3-car again, but kind of with a side-by-side and one back there. I have no idea if I'm keeping this back workbench and cabinets, but they did put up nice pegboards, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, obviously the moving trucks outside, they're probably gonna fill this with all the stuff. So it'll be a minute before we can get in here and start doing fun things. Okay, there is all of the stuff in the garage. Yeah, it's gonna be a chore. Obviously there's no car or cars in here yet, but you know, all my parts boxes and everything. It's going to be an interesting space to work in, a little bit different than what I'm used to. Yeah, you can see all my CJ Pony parts, pieces. There's that metal I plan to use from the old roof. And tons of totes that got a little smushed, but everything's fine. So while I'm taking a little bit of a break with the move, while I'm working on getting everything situated in this garage, I've been rethinking how I want to do some of my videos. My goal has always been to make the videos that I wanted to watch and that, you know, show the details that I'd be interested in, the videos that I have fun making, and that isn't going to change. I still plan to do that, but one of the big things that's really valuable is your feedback and comments. When I'm working on something, I can't tell you how many times someone says, oh yeah, I've done this before. It's 10 times easier if you just do this one little trick, which is awesome. And I greatly appreciate it. The problem is with my cadence of doing work and producing videos, what you're seeing is usually 1 to 2 weeks behind what I actually did, which at that point it's already done. It's not going to do me much good. It'll help other folks, which is awesome. So what I'm going to try to do is I'll show you what I have done and then try to a little more in depth of here's what I plan to work out next and some of the things that I'm not sure how I'm going to tackle quite yet. And then hopefully if someone's done it before and they've got a brilliant comment, and I can take that information and use it as I'm doing the job instead of, you know, 2 weeks later I go, yeah, that would have saved me a few hours if I had thought of that. I'm going to try to do that. Absolutely keep the comments coming. Let me know your feedback and what you think. Okay, it doesn't look like much, but for having just moved in 2 days ago, I'm going to call that a win. I believe I can get both of the daily drivers in here, and everything back here we're going to organize at a later date. You can see everything's just kind of smushed back into that third extra bay there. I think the plan, at least while I'm still wrapping up metalwork, is to have the cars we use along here and then the Mustang here so that I can just back one car out, slide it over, and easily access all sides. Maybe once I move on from metalwork and I need to access the sides a little less, maybe it'll park back there. But who knows? We'll see how it all shakes out. So I might be rethinking things just a little bit. This is the end of the daily drivers, and there's actually a fair amount of room from the end of the cars until you start getting into this area. Now, what I had before was shelves all the way along up top where I could just store, you know, all of these totes and boxes and whatnot. And my plan is to rebuild those in some shape or form. But it might make the most sense, even before I'm done with metalwork, to have the Mustang here. I can just kind of scoot it from side to side if I need to get to one side. I'll have the entire back workbench, and then all of this space from the back of the daily driver until you start getting into, you know, the work area. So I could even set up a table here, or a temporary workbench, maybe some sawhorses, and use that as a workbench. As long as I keep this door clear or openable, you know, that's going to be a nice working area. So I'd be able to have things here, things at the front, and then my shelves up around the perimeter. That might be kind of nice. So what that means is I need to hurry up and build some shelves, get these totes and everything up and out of the way so I can get my Mustang back. Okay, and in the spirit of getting your feedback before I start working on things, there's two other big projects I want to do in this garage. And the Mustang doesn't need to wait on these. These can happen after it arrives. Number one is the lighting. There's, well, one non-operational shop light and one sad little shop light here all hooked up to the ceiling light there. And then just your sad little light bulb back there. So kind of similar to what I did in the last garage, I'd love to put in, I had LED lights spaced every like 4 foot or something, and they essentially use next to no power. So it's really easy to string them along, and you get, if you can get good coverage, you can get nice even lighting, nice and bright with not a lot of shadows, and that was wonderful. So I'd love to redo that and have that in this garage. The other thing is the vent fan I had. I'll see if I can show you what kind I had. I think it was called Quiet Cool. That was wonderful. I'd give it a solid 4 stars maybe. There were some downsides because it was all one unit. It mounted directly to the joists. It was fan and vent flap and controller all in one unit. And when it was on, it did have significant vibration transferring. There are other units that have the vent flaps. I don't know what to call them. They have that separately. And so you mount the fan up into the rafters, and so it's not directly transferring the vibration into your ceiling joists and reverberating throughout your drywall and everything else. So that might be a better option. The other downside of that I found was I didn't have a ton of control. It had a little remote controller that was wall mounted. That was great. And I could set it to go for, 2, 4, 6, 8 hours, however long I wanted. But there was only one speed. It was on or off, and those were your options. So there are others that have electronic controllers that I might look into. That might be a better way to go, and honestly for kind of a better price. Don't let the reviews fool you. If you're seeing those 3.8 stars and whatnot, most of those folks just had issues with installation or other things, not realizing nothing is drop in exactly as it is. So the last thing in this garage I want to do, I'm in a colder climate. It actually does get pretty cold here and then fairly hot, so it swings pretty significantly. There's no insulation above this garage. So I'd like to insulate above the garage. I need to cut into one of these walls and see if there's actually insulation in here. It's sounding pretty hollow, so maybe not. Oh, I could just peek in that little hole. And I have garage door insulation kits as well. So it'd be nice to get this a little more consistent of a temperature so that I can work year round. All right, if you're still with me, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna get this area sorted.